Hey guys, what's up? This is the Demon Corpse, and today we're going to be talking about 343 Industries, a company I've never really liked as a whole, but been more disappointed, and most people have if you're a Halo fan and you know the history of this company. I know somewhat. I know the game releases they've released, and we'll go through them and give you my opinions if I like them or not. But the first one is Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. It's a great remaster. It is a somewhat great remaster, I would say. It has its problems, let's just say. I did enjoy you could go back and forth, but there was like a little blackout, and then you go back to the to the OG Xbox version, but that one has problems. And the multiplayer goes to Halo Reach multiplayer. Sadly, they did not remaster every multiplayer map. That would have probably made it a little more valuable, but sadly not. I do own the game. I didn't. I bought pre-owned. It's a good game. I would give it a good old 8 out of 10 as a whole. Like it isn't the best remaster, but we make remaster, but it does have its points, and it is a good Halo game because it's the original Halo game. But sadly, there's not all the multiplayer maps are there. But that's just 343 for you. Halo 4. I enjoyed Halo 4. I really did. I thought the campaign was fun. The music fit the vibe of Halo 4, and I do believe it was. Some people were kind of like with it, and I fully agree with you. It doesn't feel like Halo, but it is. It is a new series, as Gears of War can't even do for some reason. But that's a whole other video for the Coalition. But I had no problems with it. I enjoyed it. I give it a good old 8 out of 10. And for spawn ups, if you had spawn, I give it a 9 out of 10. I give Halo 4 a good old 9 out of 10 with the spawn ups as well. I don't know why everyone hated spawn ups. I really enjoyed it. I thought they should have continued it, but sadly, my voice wasn't heard that well. So sadly, multiplayer, it was like Halo Reach because Halo 4 uses the Reach engine. Well, all of them use I believe the same engine except Halo's Infinite. That one uses a different engine, the Slipspace engine. But Halo 4 had used the Reach engine. That's why there wasn't that much of an improvement. And sadly, no playable elites. Sadly, no invasion, no juggernaut. I sadly those game modes never return even to this day. What the hell, 343? But besides that. But sadly, no playable leads, no playable brutes. Like they could have improved on it, but I believe they couldn't because of they released it on the 360, but not the Xbox One. It should have been a launch title. They should have delayed it for another year and launched it. That could have probably given some people like, okay, I'll buy the Xbox One to play Halo 4. That could have gone people like, okay, this is a good deal. But sadly, that didn't happen. And then we have Halo 5. The black sheep in the whole family for good reason. Story mode sucks. Gameplay is really good. I enjoyed the gameplay, and graphics look phenomenally for the game. And they did do a 4K upres, and looks even way better. It runs at I think 1080p, 60 FPS when I first played it, and then now it runs at 4K at 60. I don't know, maybe. It's confusing with all these specs, all that crap, but I just like playing. I just like gameplay, but the story sucked. It really did. Like I still recommend playing it. It's like $10. You can get the game for cheap, but there was nothing to play. Like there was no multiplayer. Warzone was fun, but when I was playing it back then, I was like, man, this would be cool if they added like just a firefight mode. I was thinking of Warzone firefight. I was thinking of that, but there wasn't that yet until 8 months later. I was like, oh, finally, they finally answered my prayers, like, and it was fun. But but around that time I was playing Destiny, so I took a long break from Halo 5 because they and around they did all the newest updates. One of the final updates, I went back to it, and it was a complete game. It took, I believe, a year or so, so it's not that bad. It took a year, and it's pretty impressive now to play it. Like the custom browse is really cool. There's a lot of cool things people doing in the community in Halo 5, and the Forge mode is really impressive. Like, and there are some cool machinimas, but sadly, no playable elites. There's still no invasion, nothing like that. No, it's just there's a lot of things, but it had potential, but there was no co-op, and that's a big thing that I agreed with people. There should have been co-op, and I didn't buy the game. My brother did for I believe like $60. I haven't played a full price for a Halo game ever in my entire last life. But as a whole, it is disappointing as usual. 343. What's wrong with you? And this is the first strike. In the long run, this is the first strike. The second strike was Halo Wars 2. One, I enjoyed Halo Wars 2. I didn't buy it when it first launched. My brother did. My brother got it like a couple months later. Played the multiplayer, and the multiplayer was really fun. The campaign was fun as well. Like story mode was just it was good. Like it was somewhat like a healing for the Halo community. Like okay, we thought okay, 343's back to like just doing what they were doing like in Halo 4, but then the DLCs came out. There was a season pass. I was like, a cool season pass, more DLC characters. It'd be cool. And then they added the first DLC for the newest campaign mission. We play as ODSTs. I thought that was really cool. Each one had different abilities. And I was like, okay, that's good, nice. And then Awakening Nightmare. And that was the one that everyone was hyped about because you could play as the Banished. And I was like, I was hyped too. And I wasn't gonna. I didn't pay for the season pass, but I was happy for the people who did get the season pass. But then the most middle finger thing I have ever seen is that you own the season pass. Screw you. You're not getting Awakening Nightmare. Anyone who has a season pass never had to pay an extra $24 to get Awakening the Nightmare. That is the most ballsy, messed up move I have ever seen from a studio to do that. Like that's messed up. Yeah, like if I didn't pay for the season pass, then yeah, I have to pay that much for that. But instead, they do this ballsy ass move so that people who had the season pass couldn't get it, and they haven't fixed it. They haven't fixed it. And then there was like a firefight mode that like they need to, the one thing they do need to fix for Halo Wars 2 is the UI. The UI needs to be fixed so they can add the Awakening and Nightmare firefight mode that was added. You can't even like it's so bad like you can't even find people because no one goes there. Everyone goes to the multiplayer section, and you would think it'd be there. It isn't. So they need to fix the UI. That could be fixed, but sadly, I have to give the game a good old 6 out of 10 because screw you 343. I'm not gonna buy your games when you do that type of stuff. F you for doing that. And then there was some healing as usual. They finally fixed MCC after 5 or 4 years after it launched, and the game was finally functionable, and you could finally play the multiplayer. And they add some new stuff. And I thought that was cool, and I get what people meant, like, oh, but it's not the original. I get that, I really do, but it is cool because I was thinking, even back when I was playing Halo Reach when I was young, I was like, oh, this would be so cool if I could customize the elite style. We can't do that yet, but I was just like, oh, that'd be so cool. Red eyes with a. I always liked playing as the Zealot. I think it was called the Zealot, maybe the Ultra. I wanted the. I don't know what his name. What he had two pointy things and he had a cool mask. I always thought it would look cool to have black and red. It was, if you get what I mean. Like I've seen some people who done like how I would like it, and it's really cool. But sadly, I still gotta give Halo MCC a bad grade. You guys messed up when it first launched. Like when you launch a game, I'm sorry, but updates don't count. I just don't add those. Like the game needs to be functional on day one. If it does not functional at day one, I'm gonna give it a bad grade, and I still give Halo 5 a 5 out of 10. Right now with all the updates, I'll give it now an 8 out of 10, but I'm not giving it an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. That's what you get for 343. I don't support that type of crap, and I'm not gonna buy your games, and no one should be. And then Halo Infinite, the black sheep of the family right now, and one day it's probably gonna be like, oh my gosh, the greatest game. Like no. And yeah, Destiny had its problems as well, and but Destiny is a whole it's an online service type of game. Halo Infinite should not be a online service type of game. They have failed at it, but how it took, it's disappointing. Let's just say. Like, so the campaign is fun for Halo Infinite. I really enjoyed the campaign. I like watching. I didn't play the game yet, but I do have plans of playing it. I looked at the gameplay. I watched a ton of walkthroughs of that game because I'm a lore junkie for Halo, and I was really impressed. I was like, this is cool. Like the story, I thought the story mode was really good, and there was some cool stuff. Like one of the new characters, I don't really care, but I just care about looking at seeing what Master Chief's going to do in the game. But it is cool to see some new characters. I just like, oh well, new character, nice. and it's a new engine, and I think that delayed a lot. And there was a bunch of issues with this game when before it even launched. But yeah, I would. It is very disappointing after 10 months, and now we're on. It came out in November, so it's December, January, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, 10 months. 10 months, and there's nothing. Yeah, they did season two, but there's nothing in that. There's nothing. There's no Forge, no split screen, and that's been canceled. But online split screen co-op is no, just co-op is going to still come, but split screen's been canceled. And this is something they should have never done. They should have never released that game on the Xbox One. It's an outdated system. That's the thing. I think if Cyberpunk released only on the Series X and PS5, that game would have been much more successful. Probably in some way, it could be still buggy, but it would have not had the devastating effect as it is now. And it's the same thing with Halo 5. I mean Halo Infinite, not Halo 5, but the same thing. And I'm sorry, but whoever bought this game, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. And I know I do follow a lot of YouTubers that did buy the game, but and they did reviews, so I have to be somewhat merciful. But people who've been flipped off this many times, you should know by now to not buy a game by a company that's flipped you off 3 times. If you get what I mean with the third time is this time, but 2 times the charm in my eyes, so I'm not gonna care. And I haven't really cared about buying the games brand new because it's 343 Industries and they don't have to make a Halo game. They just don't. They have it is dead. The multiplayer is extremely dead. It's going to die like after the next 10 months. Like the next season is in 10 months. Like that's ridiculous. You're trying to do this online only type of game where you have to play but it doesn't work like that. I'm sorry 343. That's not how gaming works. Your game's going to be dead by then. And by then the next Call of Duty's coming out, a lot of stuff's coming out. Halo is just at this point they need to Microsoft needs to fire everyone. I'm sorry, but you gotta fire everyone from that studio and get new people in. Oh, give the IP to someone else and let 343 just work on Call of Duties and fix that game up. Like for the Warzone, just be one of the developers and give it to someone else who can do a better job. Maybe it's software. That would be something I would actually really enjoy if it's software actually got a chance to work on Halo. That would be interesting. I would really enjoy that more. Like a fresh new type of game that's a little more, it is Halo, but it's a little different so that to flip off 343 and that would be amazing. That's what they need to do. But I think Phil Spencer don't give a crap about Halo. He cares more about Crackdown for crying out loud. And that series is just in a weird situation. But as a whole, and then there's the Halo TV show that's a complete disaster. I'm sorry, whoever liked that, you're an idiot, and you will be an idiot for liking a crappy TV show. Because Halo is A through Z, not AA or A through 9 or 9 through A. No, it's not like that. It's A through Z for Halo. It always will be that, beginning, middle, and end. That's just how Halo is, and it's disappointing. They should have give the studio to an anime studio what they did with Halo Legends. That was cool. And said, well, we got. Like, if you can't do a live action, just make an animated TV show. People would watch it. Halo fans would totally watch it. I would too. If it's connected to the actual storyline, I would totally watch it. Do what Resident Evil's doing with the animated TV shows, animated movies. Not the live action movies that, including that crappy Resident Evil Netflix series. I mean the anime. I know they are the best, but like, I would like that more than what we got, than what we get. So, but as a whole, Halo's in a dark place. Just like back in Halo 5, I still remember those days. Those were some bad days, but just play another game. That's all you gotta do. Just play another game. Just move on. There's better games out there anywhere. Anyway. There's a lot of cool indie games coming out. Play some Doom. Play something else. Just forget about Halo. I'm doing that as well. I'm done. Like I'm done with Halo as a whole. Like I'll wait until the game's like $10. I will do a full walkthrough of those games, but I'll wait until the games are around $10 or five for a physical copy. And yeah, I know the physical copy is worthless. And like, yeah, that is very true because you can't play the game offline. But I'm just gonna have the physical copy just to play it and just look at it and be like, dang, So this killed the franchise. So this killed the franchise, this game. And it's just bad management. That's all it is. And Xbox, that's the thing about Xbox. Xbox has bad management for any of their IPs, and I have talked about this a little, and probably a little more than usual. But it's just Xbox don't know how to make a good exclusive or use their IPs correctly. They just don't. But hell, things could change again. But you never know. You never know. But that's why I keep my hopes low for a company like 343 Industries. But that's about all. It's 15 minutes long. I think we're a little too far anyway, but this is the interesting rant from me, and this is just something that I feel like we need to talk about anyway for anyone who follows me that likes Halo. It's just, I don't know what I'm going to call the actual video. Probably Halo is dead by me. I don't know, but yeah, it's disappointing. But hey, it's still the future's somewhat bright, but hell, that's about all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to support me, go to my Odyssey channel. That's where I try to post everything I can, and I'll see you guys later. See you, Scavenger.